It started as a ripple, a gentle disturbance on the surface of Manila Bay as the city slowly woke to a new day. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting a golden glow over the water, and for a moment, everything seemed calm, almost ordinary. But beneath that calm, something was stirring. A whisper moved through the streets, passed from one person to another, growing louder with every retelling. What began as a rumor soon became a roar, echoing through the city's alleys and avenues. In the heart of Manila, the news broke like a wave. A giant digital billboard lit up the skyline, its headline impossible to ignore: "Massive gas field discovered in West Philippine Sea." The words seemed to pulse with energy, drawing every eye in the city. The city paused, as if holding its breath. Pedestrians stopped mid-step, their daily routines forgotten, eyes fixed on the glowing screen above. For a few heartbeats, time itself seemed to stand still. Inside coffee shops, conversations faded into silence. People huddled over their phones, refreshing news feeds, searching for details, for confirmation, for hope. Friends exchanged glances, their faces a mix of disbelief and excitement. On every screen, two words stood out: energy independence, another, game changer. The headlines glowed in the morning sun, promising a future that suddenly felt brighter, more secure. This was more than just another headline. It was a promise, a spark of hope that lit up the faces of everyone who saw it. For many, it felt like the beginning of something extraordinary. News anchors spoke with awe, describing reserves vast enough to power the nation for generations. Animated graphics showed the scale of the discovery, the numbers almost too big to comprehend. Experts called it a turning point, a chance to rewrite the country's future. The mood on the streets shifted instantly. Where there had been routine, now there was electric optimism. Office workers cheered, strangers high-fived, and laughter echoed through the city's corridors. Strangers, once lost in their own worlds, now exchanged knowing glances and hopeful smiles. In that moment, everyone felt connected by a shared sense of possibility. The news traveled fast, leaping from the glass towers of Makati to the bustling markets of Quiapo. It crossed every boundary, rich and poor, young and old, city and suburb, uniting the nation in anticipation. On the Philippine Stock Exchange, chaos erupted as traders scrambled to buy energy stocks. Prices soared, fortunes changed in minutes, and the excitement was palpable. But this was about more than just energy or money. It was about a new future, one where the Philippines could stand tall, confident in its own resources and potential. Business leaders gathered, already dreaming of new opportunities and partnerships. For once, the story of the West Philippine Sea was not about conflict or loss, but about Filipino discovery and potential. Scientists and engineers pored over maps, their pride unmistakable, as the Philippine flag waved proudly by the water's edge. As the sun set over Manila Bay, crowds gathered, united by hope. The nation's destiny, long debated and often doubted, suddenly felt within reach. For the first time in a long time, the future belonged to the Filipino people. The news rippled across the archipelago, uniting Filipinos everywhere. From the bustling streets of Manila to the quietest barangays in the provinces, a single announcement brought millions together in anticipation. It was as if, for a moment, the entire nation paused. Hearts beating in sync, eyes glued to screens and ears tuned to radios, waiting to hear what this discovery would mean for their lives. In a crowded jeepney, the radio blared the discovery. Passengers began to talk, sharing hopes for lower bills and fewer brownouts. Strangers exchanged smiles and stories, imagining a future where electricity was reliable and affordable, where families could study and work without fear of sudden blackouts. The air was thick with excitement, and even the usual traffic seemed lighter, as if hope itself was lifting the city. In a university cafeteria, students watched the Department of Energy's press conference, seeing new career paths and reasons to stay in the country. For many, the announcement was more than just news, it was a turning point. Young minds, once tempted to seek opportunities abroad, now saw a future unfolding at home. They discussed possibilities, new industries, research grants, and the chance to contribute to something historic. The gas field was more than an economic boon. It was a chance for a generation to build a future at home. Professionals envisioned thriving businesses, innovative startups, and a revitalized job market. The promise of progress inspired determination, as people from all walks of life began to dream bigger, believing that their hard work could finally pay off in their own land. In Palawan, fishermen listened on crackling radios, feeling vindicated in their claim to these waters. For years, they had protected their seas, and now, their patience and stewardship were being recognized. The discovery meant not only economic uplift, but also a sense of pride and ownership over their natural resources. In small coastal villages, celebrations broke out, with neighbors gathering to share the moment. The discovery promised not just wealth, but protection and development for their communities. Optimism spread, executives planned expansions, local leaders envisioned new schools and clinics, and construction workers saw the potential for steady jobs. Across the country, people began to imagine safer neighborhoods, better infrastructure, and a brighter future for their children. Civil servants felt renewed purpose. In government offices, the mood shifted from routine to inspired. Policymakers and public servants discussed how to ensure the benefits would reach every Filipino, determined to turn this opportunity into lasting change. The sense of responsibility was palpable as they worked late into the night drafting plans for inclusive growth. From farmers to tech workers, hope was ignited. In the fields, farmers imagined affordable fuel and better irrigation. In the cities, tech workers saw the chance to innovate and lead in a new energy era. Across industries, people felt a surge of optimism, believing that their efforts could help shape a stronger, more resilient nation. The gas discovery was about more than energy. It was about unlocking the potential of over 110 million people. It was a symbol of what Filipinos could achieve together, a testament to resilience and unity. The streets buzzed with conversation, and social media lit up with messages of hope, pride, and determination to make the most of this historic moment. It offered a vision of a self-sufficient, prosperous tomorrow. Families gathered at dinner tables, discussing dreams that once seemed out of reach. Owning a home, sending children to college, building businesses. The promise of new infrastructure and opportunities brought a sense of security and excitement as people looked forward to a future where the Philippines could stand tall on the world stage. For the first time in years, the nation felt united by possibility. Differences faded as people from all backgrounds came together, bound by a shared vision. The discovery became a rallying point, inspiring unity and collective action. Across islands and cities, the Filipino spirit shone brighter than ever, fueled by the belief that real change was within reach. The promise of change was real, and it belonged to everyone. From the laughter of children in city streets to the wisdom of elders in rural homes, hope was alive. The nation stood at the threshold of a new era, ready to embrace a future shaped by the dreams and determination of its people. To understand the joy, you must know the struggle. For decades, the Philippines endured blackouts, high electricity costs, and dependence on imported fuel. Every global oil price spike hit Filipino families hard. The Malampaya gas field, once a lifeline, is running dry. Previous attempts to explore the West Philippine Sea were blocked by disputes and threats. This new discovery isn't just a bonus. It's a lifeline, a chance to finally break free from energy insecurity. Malacanang's response was swift and resolute. The president called the discovery a gift and a turning point, vowing to achieve energy self-sufficiency and inclusive growth. The vision end dependence on imported fuels, stabilize prices, and power every home and industry. Tens of thousands of jobs will be created, and a sovereign wealth fund will secure the nation's future. The project is framed as a national mission, a call to unity and pride. Filipino ingenuity and perseverance made this possible. The government's message. This is a new era of confidence and ambition. The nation is ready to take its place on the world stage. The promise is not just light, but a brighter future for all. This discovery was no accident. It was the result of years of work, technology, and Filipino grit. Aboard a high-tech vessel, Filipino geologists and engineers mapped the seabed with advanced seismic imaging. Supercomputers processed mountains of data, revealing a massive gas trap. The team selected a drill site, risking millions and facing geopolitical tension. When the drill struck gas, the control room erupted in joy. It was a victory for Filipino expertise and teamwork. The government provided support, but it was Filipino experts who made the breakthrough. Their success proved the nation could lead world-class projects. This was a symbol of national capability and pride. The future was unlocked by Filipino hands. The numbers are staggering. Sampaguita Rise holds at least 20 trillion cubic feet of gas, nearly 10 times Malampaya. This could meet the nation's gas needs for 50 to 70 years, ending energy importation. The economic impact over $800 billion in gross value, with hundreds of billions for public investment. For families, lower electricity bills and more disposable income are on the horizon. Small businesses will thrive with cheaper power. The discovery will spark a new industrial ecosystem, from petrochemicals to exports. Jobs, savings, and economic transformation are within reach. The numbers aren't just statistics, they're a new future for every Filipino. This is the single largest financial windfall in Philippine history. Sampaguita Rise sits in contested waters, raising the stakes. China quickly asserted its claims, sending ships to the area. Manila faces the challenge of defending its rights without provoking conflict. The world is watching, and allies like the US have reaffirmed support. The gas field is now a focal point in the US-China rivalry. The Philippines must rally international backing, partner with credible energy firms, and modernize its navy. Defending this prize requires courage and strategy. The discovery is not just a windfall, it's a right that must be protected. The nation stands at the center of a new geopolitical chessboard. The promise is immense, but the path is fraught with challenges. Governance and fair wealth distribution are critical. Filipinos demand transparency and accountability. Environmental protection is non-negotiable. The project must meet the highest standards. Security is paramount, with offshore assets needing constant protection. Managing public expectations is key. The benefits will take years to materialize. The government must communicate honestly and show real progress. Success depends on good governance, environmental stewardship, and national unity. The real test is turning potential into lasting prosperity. Sampaguita Rise marks a historic turning point for the Philippines. For generations, the nation has looked to the horizon, searching for opportunities to secure its future. Now, with this discovery, a new chapter begins, one filled with hope, ambition, and the promise of lasting change. The nation can now follow the path of neighbors who turned energy wealth into progress. Countries like Singapore and Malaysia have shown how strategic resource management can transform societies, fueling innovation, education, and economic growth. The Philippines stands at a similar crossroads, with the chance to redefine its destiny. The next steps are crucial. Finalize legal frameworks, form strategic partnerships with trusted allies, and ensure that every agreement serves the Filipino people's best interests. Establishing a transparent sovereign wealth fund will be key, safeguarding the nation's resources for future generations and ensuring that prosperity is shared by all. This discovery should spark further exploration and investment in geoscience, encouraging young minds to pursue careers in science and technology, and inspiring a new era of innovation. The story is bigger than gas. It's about national belief and transformation. It's about empowering communities, uplifting families, and building a future where every Filipino can dream bigger. For too long, the Philippines was defined by its challenges, by stories of hardship, struggle, and missed opportunities. Now, it can be defined by its solutions, by the resilience, creativity, and unity of its people who are ready to build a brighter tomorrow. This is a chance to build a more prosperous, self-reliant republic where progress is visible in every community and hope is renewed with every sunrise. The journey will be tough, demanding courage, sacrifice, and unwavering determination from all sectors of society. But the path is finally illuminated. The nation stands united, stronger than ever, ready to face the challenges ahead with hope and solidarity. Ready to seize its moment, to turn potential into progress, and to show the world what the Filipino spirit can achieve. The promise of a new dawn is real, and it begins now. The future is bright, and it belongs to every Filipino willing to dream, to work, and to believe.